Welcome back, everybody. Trickster here. We are playing Lucid9. When we're starting our laser tag match thing. Capture the flag. See, she stalks to the courtyard. Even as I follow her, my thoughts are a jumble in my head. Great at it? Great at anything? How could I be great at anything? I can't even do anything mildly well. Great? And why would Elizabeth tell me so? The girl who hates my guts. The girl whose guts I hate. Why would she say that I could be great at something? Stop! She throws out her hand. It collides with my chest, sending a rush of sparks up my spine. I quickly step back, shaking off the feeling off. There, Yahiko Ikari. I turn to where she's pointing. Yahiko is seated on an artificial ledge, his gun on his lap. How foolish. She won't even be able to shoot back. Guess we'd better take care of him. I swiftly raise my gun, but Elizabeth slaps my hand. Hold your gun properly. Excuse me, Your Highness. I didn't realize the laser tag had rules of combat. It can only help your accuracy, you know. She raises her own gun, her voice lowering to a concentrated whisper. Steady breathing, proper stance, and grip are important, but a good trigger pull is what can make it or break it. Her posture shifts carefully, as if gunning someone down was a common occasion. With laser-like focus, she finally moves her finger to the trigger. One sharp flick of the finger, the trigger flicks, and Yahiko immediately jolts up, hands flying to his goggles. Yow! Somebody shot me! That should have been a fatal shot. Laser tag would really be short with fatal shots. Oh, be useful and shoot something. I bludgeoningly put my gun out of my hole and fire blindly. Aha! There you are! Not what I had in mind. You have in mind? Shut up and run! We race through the obstacles as shot sounds all around us. Finally, we find an out-of-the-way corner where we pause to catch our breaths. Right, we must have a new plan. Such as? Yahiko is the only person on defense, and we passed no intermissionaries on our way here. Paired with Masato's personality, it's highly likely that 3 people are on assault. So Misaki will be overrun. They probably have the flag by now. Oddly enough, I can respect her at the moment. She seems to know that what she's doing. Well, where does that leave us? We'll have to kill them on their way back. Akira, come on. What's your status? Akira! Right, their comms must have been shot before they could alert us. We're on our own, Niyama. So what's the plan? You take the red flag and sprint back to our base as soon as possible. I'll hold them off while I can. Well, that's suicide! She draws her chin up and gestures to the entrance. Then it shall be a worthy sacrifice. Now go and don't look back. Every passing second is a second wasted. The pulse warble of a laser gun draws closer. I bludgeoningly dive around the corner and scoop the flag in my arm as Elizabeth screams. Long live the resistance! Maybe she's taking this a little too seriously. Well, I guess it's up to me to get the flag to our base before Masato gets back to his. I sprint at full pace, winding through simulated campus as I hear Elizabeth goading the other team into chasing her. With the flag in tow, I haphazardly make my way back to base. I've only got so much time before Elizabeth is shot. I'm hit. Looks like Masato actually left someone behind as guard. I swing around just in time to see a small figure diving behind cover. Crap, my health is at 50%! At the very least, I still got a few chances left. Admittedly, laser tag would be pretty boring if followed by a one shot, one kill system. My grip on a pistol tightens as I peer for my little refuge. I line up my aim so if the guard emerges, I have a chance to take them down first. I can't react fast enough. Neither of those shots hit with the guard darted from cover to cover. 4 shots left, and it feels like I couldn't hit them even if my gun was full. I'm down 25% of my health, maybe 20 meters away from capturing the flag. After all, Elizabeth's hard-earned work too. Ah, screw it. I charge toward the back of the table, ignoring the danger behind me. Standing around like that is just going to get me killed. And I dive behind the nearest piece of cover as I hear the enemy's laser pistol blare to life. It's down to the wire now. Final chance, right? I stand up and blindly fire my remaining shots at the figure that's just a few feet away. The figure drops their gun in defeat as a dead icon appears over them. I'm dead. With that, Ari places her gun at the nearest bench and pulls out a peach to munch on without a second thought. Apparently getting killed doesn't mean much. That was somewhat anticlimactic, especially given how lucky I was to have shot her despite my firing haphazardly. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I promptly plant the red flag on our stand. It glows in response, and after a second of humming, it clicks in place. A clear high tone brings the game to a close. Game over. Victory to blue. The hell? Please exit the room. But I got the flag! Please stop arguing with an artificial voice and exit the room. Masato's grumbling is prominent, but I notice dark shapes converging at the exit. I guess I better follow them. It takes a few moments to adjust to the blinding sunlight. Still, everyone seemed to be fairly happy. Everyone except Masato, of course. We were the rightful winners. Well, we would have been if someone didn't go on a wild goose chase instead of returning the flag. I was gonna. As soon as I come up to that trash talker, I mean. Then you probably shouldn't be playing. Amidst the commotion, I noticed that Elizabeth is strangely quiet. I was expecting her to gloat with her victory, maybe toss in a few snappish, better than thou comments here or there. But she's just standing by the map, a far away look in her eyes as her lips full into a smile. Well, it couldn't be helped. We had the best leader, you know. I bet Yama took charge. Oh no, we were led to victory beneath the banner of the wise Elizabeth Oshiro. She came up with all those fancy tactics and everything. To everyone's surprise, Elizabeth blushed slightly and lowers her head. Really? Good job. Thank you. Somehow those simple words feel like more than a compliment. Yeah, let's keep going. I'll get my revenge! Oh, I'm counting on it. Thankfully, the conflict feels teasing rather than biting. I return to the map with a smile to pick out the next destination. Bot fighting. Yeah. A pop-up box in the upper corner of the map catches my attention. Live. Linscape Bot Showcase. The future of gaming. Intrigued, I note that the showcase is located just further down the map. Say, what do you guys think about this? I point at the announcement. Robots? Say, Cap, do you think they'll be fighting giant monsters? I can say with certainty that they won't. And it sounds like fun. I say we give it a shot. Okay, any objections? Yes, your shoes, minion. Need an upgrade. Why haven't you bought a new pair since I first met you? Objections are to the bot showcase. Let's go. Wait, smiling? Genuinely? For non-food related reasons? I don't think I've ever seen Ari so excited. We can pop by. It's not interesting, we can go and do something else. No one else said a word. I take this as a confirmation and head down the path. Just behind a metal building, a modest portable stage is set up, flanked by screens projecting a live closer view. A row of assorted small mechas are lined up at the edge of the stage, in front of which stands a Lemonscape representative. It's Gover Mech, but in real life! We sail right in front of the stage. There's not many viewers beside us. Besides, it looks like the staff is still setting up. I wonder if they'll let people actually try them. I hope so. Well, what use to showcase if the target audience can't even try it? I don't know. These kinds of things usually involve demonstration matches to make the technology look a lot better than it actually is. That doesn't seem likely. They may just choose a victim to beat up. That ain't fair, man. Whoever they choose to represent Lemonscape will probably just be an unstoppable as a final boss. It does not matter. It is a game, and games must be played by the rules. I'm about to ask Ari what exactly that cryptic piece of information means, but a blast from the speakers quickly ends our conversation. Come on, see yourselves on top of the line fighting bots straight from the Lemonscape laboratories. Robotic fans, you might want to listen up. A crowd begins to form behind us, attracted by the representatives' announcements. I notice that the wide majority of people are young adults. Lemonscape definitely knows their target audience. This is one of our star beta testers, Raiden Rumble Ajibana. He'll be showing you some of the awesome stuff that this new generation of bots can do. The representative steps back from the stage, leaving room for the big man with a short chopped hair to step to the front, holding up his robot of choice. It's a medium size, around as big as my head, sleek in shape and boasting of beautiful colors of deep cobalt and silver. The crowd oohs and ahs in appreciation. Oh mama, we've gotta get me one of those. The beta tester Rumble steps back and gently lays the robot on the stage. Cameras zoom in for a better view, ready to capture the action. The crowd waits with bated breath as Rumble cracks his knuckles, holds out his hand, to which the representative places a sleek controller. The Mayfly ascends, performs as duties required, and it is no more. And suddenly the robot is alive in a world of silver and blue, leaping around the stage like a dancing grasshopper. Rumble smiles confidently as his hands fly over the controllers, stringing together flawless combos like the world's most skilled fighting gamer. Wow, art and movement. Amazing. The crowd applauds claps wildly. I already see several young men digging out of their cell phones and punching rapidly through screens. No doubt reworking their budget. I might understand gaming, but I can definitely appreciate skill. Rumble brings the routine to a slow, letting the robot pirouette like a professional ballerina before sweeping into a curtsy. He's met with an even louder round of applause. Thank you, Rumble. Wonderful work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to open the floor. Would anyone like to face Rumble? The representative grins with a slight touch of cockiness. I'll make you guys a deal. If you manage to defeat Rumble in a best of 3, you can take one of these robots home with you. And with confidence I have never seen before, Ari's hand shoots into the air. And the rest of us balk openly at her. The representative's eyes sparkle, no doubt seeing a small girl as easy prey for Rumble. Miss, come up to the stage. Eric gracefully, a little too gracefully, vaults onto the stage, ignoring the representative's extended hand. What's your name, miss? Ari Haraga. I see that you're wearing an academy uniform. What year are you in? Second. And how are you finding it? Fine. Great conversationalist, I see. So why do you want to try your hand against Rumble, if I might ask? Erin stares blankly at her hand for a long moment. Uh-oh, she might not know what try your hand actually means. I'm not trying. Whoa, bold words. Miss Harikara claims that she doesn't even need to try against Rumble. I'm pretty sure that's definitely not what Ari meant. Rumble, what do you have to say to that? The insect believes itself to be king over insignificance. And Rumble's retort is just as strong. Well, folks, are you excited or what? The crowd cheers, egged on by the representative's skilled hype building. I find myself wishing for Ari to crush Rumble to the ground. Ari has a tough road ahead of her. That rep is just twisting her words, man. It builds hype. It's exciting, in my opinion. Come on, guys, let's root for Ari. Give me an A. A. Give me an I. I. Give me an... Shush, they're talking. The disorganized team cheer immediately dies down as the representative pulls the microphone back to her lips. Let's see what bot our challenger will select for herself. Miss Haraga, feel free to pick any of the bots from the row. Ari contemplatively paces down the row, stopping from time to time. It feels less like she's struck with indecision and more like she's examining the bots down to their basic molecules. Pick the coolest one. Pick the cutest one. Pick the most efficient one. Effective one. Pick the one you can beat him with. Pick the most innovative one. Pick a peck of pickled peppers. Ari ignores the incoherent din from our group and eventually settles on a humble, boxy little bot at the end of the line. The crowd goes completely silent in shock at our decision. Tell me about this bot. Are you sure about your choice? I need more information. Right. This is a tricky little guy. Most of the testers weren't exactly sure what to do with him. He looks very unintimidating, but don't be mistaken, if you play your cards right, you can change his form by extending or contracting the panels on all his sides. It's extremely flexible, hence why testers are still having to go to figure out the best way to use him. I see. He is challenging? The most, but not very beginner-friendly, Miss Hiraga. Then I select him. Why does that sound like she's looking more for a challenge than a victory? Very well, our ambitious challenger is certainly looking for an upset. Let's get ready for round 1. Ari sets her humble little bot on the edge of the ring, exactly opposite of Rumble's bot. The representative hands her a controller. Ari frowns when she sees it. Is this for the bot? Of course, it certainly is not for my television. The crowd answering chuckles almost drowns out Ari's response. It looks exactly like Rave Red. The representative completely ignores her and instead lifts her hand to the air, ready to cue the match. Rave Red, what the heck is that? Round 1, Rumble versus Challenger. And fight! The crowd cheers as the representative chops her hand down. The stage erupts with light, signifying the start of the round. For a moment, Rumble charitably sits back, letting Ari experiment with her bot. From what I can tell, it's essentially a box on wheels. I watch it roll forward, watch it roll backward, watch it roll side to side. Then one of the sides falls down. No way, the entire side is a matrix of smaller panels. Interesting, seems like the entire box can be transformed, give or take a few limitations. But instead of experimenting further, Ari only tracks the panel and extends to the opposite side. It seems like she doesn't really know what to do. Oh, I don't see it that way. What do you mean? You should ask Yahiko. You play quite a few games, you know. twin has Misaki on Yahiko more than me. My curiosity overtakes me, and I eke over to Yahiko. Do you know what she's doing? She'll try a basic attack next. I watch the stage. Sure enough, one of the robot's sides turns away and swivells on a tiny limb, like a miniature miniature sharp-edged shield. Now a 6A 214B. A what? The bot repeats its shield cut attack, sending the host of panels over and behind it. Yahiko seems extremely pleased. She might try something a little more complex next, like a 6A, 8-hit C, 6D, 2D. The clumsy-looking box suddenly moves in a world of rotating panels. I can't tell what's happening, and it seems to just make Yahiko even more excited. I knew it! It's just like Rave Red. What's Rave Red? But he doesn't answer me because Rumble has started to move. His bot elegantly skates around Ares, just still rolling cheerily around and flipping its sides. One quick sharp blow sends the poor boxy bot crashing straight into the edge of the ring. Ooh, that one's got a sting. The bot shakily rights itself and starts wheeling away from Rumble, tearing around the ring like a panicking civilian in the midst of a war zone. Even as it flees, I see Aerie experimenting with some structural changes, like extending, flipping, and morphing its panels to create different shapes. She doesn't even try to land an attack on Rumble's bot. Basically, she's trying to understand the bot's identity. She's going through its moves systematically. Do you think she has a chance? If she finds something really unique that beta testers would never expect. Unfortunately, it seems at that moment Rumble predicts Aerie's walk path and flies at her bot, crushing it decisively into the ground. The representative whips down her hand even as the segment inside the bot pieces it back together. The winner of this round is Rumble! The parent flatly collapsed. It's clear that their eyes, Aerie didn't have a fraction of a chance against an experienced beta tester. But I saw some promise in the way she was messing with the form of her bot. A bot with structural changes. As you see, it takes only a few seconds for a bot to repair itself. No more long waiting between rounds. Players, are you ready? Aerie nods quietly, a faint smile flickering across her lips. Rumble says nothing. Round 2, and fight! This time Rumble immediately explodes into action. His bot leaps gracefully at Ares. Aerie managed to swerve it away before the ground where it was standing is angrily dented. Rumble's assault is relentless. He never allows a single second for Aerie to recover, chasing doggedly after her bot without a break. Not once does his bot lose its footing or crash into the wall. Such is the extent of his control. And then, right before his latest jump is about to crash into Aerie flattens her bot in half, its original width, with a swirling mass panel, narrowly dodging Rumble's strike. She takes a split second required for Rumble's recovery to bounce back its original size, slamming its panel right into Rumble's back in an unhurried, smooth combo. Yahiko grunts widely as Aerie bot pummels Rumble around in a terrifying wall pin. Dude, her combos are slick. I should fight her sometime. And he's finishing this sentence. Rumble's bot suddenly shimmers and gives off a short pulse of energy, sending Aerie's bot flying back. Dude, I didn't know these bots had bursting. I have no clue what he's saying, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying the match. Aerie is clearly getting the hang of her bot. She changes channels and diagonals, L-shaped patterns, and even fox curves to dodge Rumble's attacks. Sometimes his bot lands a glancing bow, but never severe enough to capture in a combo. Finally, she managed to curve around his bot and slam one final combo into its backside, sending it crashing into the ring. The crowd claps, but this time they seem much more impressed. Even the representative looks surprised. Solid display, challenger. This round goes to you. Rumble's face is completely motionless. He doesn't even look dismayed. Dude, this next round's gonna be so intense. What do you mean? You'll see. Within seconds, Rumble's bot has reassembled itself and returned to its original position. Aerie is smiling in utter satisfaction, as if she's completely forgotten the audience exists at all. Maybe she's just having fun playing with the bot. The final deciding round, ladies and gentlemen. Will Rumble be able to redeem himself, or will the challenger score an unprecedented underdog win? 3, 2, 1, fight! If I thought the last match was intense, this one was just a blur of colors and motion. It's clear that Rumble has no longer holding anything back. His bot moves with crazy speed, but above all, total control and precision. Aerie's movements are clearly rougher. Even though she's mastered this structural reorganization of her bot, it almost looks like she's not used to 3D space. Come on, Aerie, you can do it! The fate of the world rests on your shoulders, chosen one! Aerie barely skates out of Rumble's favorite landing combo, but she turns so sharply that her bot stumbles away. Rumble's lips twitch into a smirk. It was an honor, but your time is drawn to an end. May you make your peace. And he hits her solidly, sending her about flying in the air. Yahiko winces. It's over. Air combos into a ground pounce. But as Rumble leaps after Aerie, she flattens into a vertical plane that better cuts through the air resistance, long before he can land a blow. A little surprised, Rumble reorients his body to hold out its foot for a single devastating dive kick. I don't see how she can get out of this. Trying to change forms and move will take too long, but she can't move while she's still a plank. And if she does return to her usual form, the kick will put so much heavy damage on the bot that I don't see her recovering the match. This must be end of the series. Then I see Aerie's fingers flying over the controller, and her boxy bot rapidly disassembling into a condensed brick. And then I understand. As Rumble bot soars forward, foot extended, ready to strike the killing blow, Aerie's bot melts into an indestructible brick settled to the ground, biting its tie. And then, just as the right moment, Aerie smashes her hand to the controller. The metal brick springs upwards, slamming right into Rumble's bot, and sprung. As if in slow motion, Rumble's bot sails to the ground, flipping into a perfect double axle, head over heel, right over the bounds of the fighting ring, and plummets into the middle of the audience. Silence stretches as the crowd tries to process what just happened. The mic drops from the representative's hand, barely and mercifully muted in the time before it hit the stage. Rumble stares blankly at his controller as if he's trying to wake himself up from a dream. Aerie stares blankly at a controller as if she's suddenly and uncontrollably hungry. Fists of our cheering team are stopped mid-pump in the air, looking like we're in the midst of a half-hearted fistfight. And then, the winner of the round, and therefore the set, is Aerie Hiriga, the new challenger. Representative numbly stammers these words, still in shock. Another moment of dead silence passes. Then the crowd erupts into cheers. She did it, dude! Look at the moves, look at the plays. Aerie, what was that? She won, she really won. That was incredibly impressive. Ha, that tiny one's got some surprises up her sleeve. And I scored a perfect shot in the winning moment. Aerie stands next to her feet with a broad smile, bowing politely to her opponent. Rumble doesn't seem the least bit irritated. Surely on this day, we have met well in wartime. Challenger Aerie. He bows his head in respect, solemnly walks into the crowd to pick up his bot, and disappears behind the stage. Wow, how incredible. Despite all odds, it seems as if the challenger has come away victorious. Miss Hiragata, what are your thoughts on Miss Hiragata? But Aerie has already walked to the edge of the stage, seemingly ignorant of the representative's inquiries. She quietly leaves down to get sworn by our group. Good job, Aerie. That was amazing. You really showed him. How were you able to understand the system so quickly? The controller plays just like Brave Red. The fighting game, right? Yes, you play? But of course, you see, Brave Red Mecha Warrior was actually the inspiration for the design of President J. Graves' bot. Just like all roads lead to Rome, all Yahiko's comments lead to Grover Mecher. I see, perhaps we should play sometime. She sounds hesitant at the idea, but I can't discern why. Maybe she doesn't want to play with Yahiko, but then she wouldn't make the offer in the first place. I'm down. They walk back to the road, chattering eagerly about video games, of all things, completely ignoring the hapless representative. Come to think of it, wasn't Aerie supposed to win one of the robots? Not that she seems to care. Wonder if we should accept Aerie's robot for her. It's not our choice, Miki. I know. I lead the group back to the map, showing some mercy on the poor representative. After all, her higher-ups can't be too happy about bargaining a new prototype on a whim. It probably is best if we let this be, considering that the only person who deserves to care is Aerie. And Aerie, well, she seemed happier about playing with the bot than actually victory itself. And Aerie and Yahiko are already waiting for us by the campus map. Dude, you guys are so slow. Maybe you're just always in a rush to go places. Some people like leisurely walks. Leisurely walks? We don't have time for that. Look at all this stuff we gotta hit. Yama, my minion, lead us on. You have a good head for efficiency. Do we really have that much stuff to explore? I take a look at the map to verify what we have left. Let's see. Extreme carousel! Ooh, Cap, do you see that? I look to where she's rapidly waving her arms and finding me staring at a little carousel? Yeah, it's a bit underwhelming. No, behind it. Behind it? Look upward. Behind the kid-friendly circle of ponies It's a much larger, much taller carousel, with the seats rising to the air as it spins, and the seats are... dragons. We can fly in the 7th seas and beyond. Cap, who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to ride a dragon? Probably someone afraid of heights. Yeah, which no one in this group seemed to be. Well, what are you guys' thoughts? Let's ride a freaking dragon! Sounds great. You're exempt. You agree with anything, Akari says. So do not. I say we go for it. Trying new things is always a great idea. Doesn't look all that exciting to me, but I got worse. I get to have a dragon for a minion? I look at Ari and Elizabeth, but they only shrug. Great, time to ride the spinning wheel of death. It's gotta be safer than a roller coaster, right? We trot briskly, a little too brisky for my taste, to the line where Akira points excitedly at the carousel. Hey, Ruby, do you see what I see? I look to where she's pointing. A couple seat, of course. I don't know what you're saying. Why, you and Cap should ride together, of course. Why would I want to ride with Yama? He's so fat. Excuse me? I'm sure she just meant to say that you're big-boned, Cap. That's definitely not what surprised me. I honestly don't see anything of Yama that can be called fat. So unfair. He doesn't even exercise. I do, on occasion. Yeah, when all the planets align and the blue moon rises. He was fit as a bull when he was in track. You could be a real hotshot if you joined track again, Cap. And why would I do that? Good aim with firearms is important. She doesn't mean that kind of hotshot, Eri. Then, what did she mean? The attendant chooses that moment to raise the barrier. Ruby snaps at the attendant with a grin that's a little too shiny. Oh boy, wow, guess it's time to go. We sure don't want to hold up the line. I really feel like stretching my legs, like elephant leg room. Solo pod for me. Before anyone else in the group can blink, she immediately leaps into a one-person dragon seat and straps herself in. Behind her, floods of people push past us, struggling to secure the best spot. Clearly, Ruby hasn't watched enough dramas to know what happens when you defy fate. What happens? I have no clue. I haven't watched enough dramas either. You die, murdered in cold blood. Right. You know, you and Ruby are like really bad depth perception. You look you're really close, but you're actually not. That might be a novel concept, but Ruby and I are independent people. Sometimes we like to do things on our own. But why do some things on your own when you can do it together? That sounds really unhealthy. Just because you can do something together doesn't mean you should. You strike me as the kind of person who doesn't like to ask for help, Cap. That's really random. Not really, see? There's a kind of person who would say, just because you can do something alone doesn't mean you should. That means that they can't do anything on their own. Oh, I don't think like that. What's the point of life if you never affect other people? This conversation is taking an interesting turn. I lean in to spite myself. And what do you mean by that? Well, if you live as a hermit in the Alps, and you don't do a single thing, then the world would be the exact same whether you live or die. So shouldn't you always be looking to affect other people? Interesting. That crazy Akara has thoughts like these. You can end up having a negative impact, so no, not really. Think about the impact between Stalin versus, I don't know, some random citizen who buys a homeless guy some coffee. But either way, Cap, that random citizen is still affecting humanity. Doing everything alone seems lonely. I pause at that. Yes, it really does. Hey, you two might want to hurry up before all the seats are taken. We're on it, Highness. But when I look up, I notice that all the solo spaces are occupied, leaving only a couple vehicles. Well, this should be pretty simple. Akira and I can ride together, negating the risk of putting up with some idiot stranger. Akira, which one do you want? We're boarding together? What, you'd rather be with the stranger? I always enjoy the opportunity to make someone's day a little more surreal. Usually I'd believe her, but something about her seems unusually fidgety. Come on, I'm not putting up with some random kid who'll barf all over me. I hook my arm around hers and pull her into the nearest two-seater. A nice golden dragon with overly long lashes to make it look distinctively feminine. She promptly sits down, face completely blank as I strap the seatbelt over us. She doesn't say a single word, even when I'm done prepping the vehicle. What's wrong? On the contrary, what's right? Pardon? Nothing. She turns her head and stares resolutely out the window, so I can't see her face. I wait for her to start some random conversation, but she says nothing. Akira. No response. The attendant drops by her car, closes the door. She takes one look at Akira, one look at me, and raises an eyebrow. Girlfriend mad? She seems to be saying. I try to shake my head in the universal, no, this is not my girlfriend, but she seems to take it. I swear I didn't do anything wrong, and only shakes her head as she walks away. Did I make Akira mad? Akira, are you mad? No. Oh, okay. More silence. Another attendant voice drones at the beginning of the procedure of the ride. Still nothing from Akira. So, how's life? No response. Akira might as well have turned into stone. The ride starts up in a cranky whirl, and our vehicle begins to pick up speed, rising into the air. We ascend for a few moments, stopping at a nice intermittent point around 10 feet off the ground. Having fun? Still nothing. What's going on? Hey, Akira. They're off! What fine specimen of Dragoness Rex gracing the rings. It's no secret that the crowd favored the famous Freddy, the world champion from the past 120 seasons of the dragon races. Why, at that very moment, we can see money exchanging hands, because in this fictional world, betting is totally not illegal. I have no clue where this is coming from, but somehow, it's a relief. I'll take a weird Akira over a quiet Akira any day. Still, it doesn't take a genius to notice that she's completely ignoring me. She won't even glance in my direction. So, Akira, come on, Freddy. I didn't raise you to be a loser. Win this race, or I'm grounding you for a month. She leans forward and slams her firm hands to the neck of our dragon, which startles me. Our steed flies higher, as if in response. That's more like it. Show me that my life savings spent on a JPDA certified grass-fed, gluten-free organic carrots will pay dividends. Aren't carrots for horses? Some dragons are vegetarian. Are you mocking their dietary sacrifices? I really don't peg you as such a dragonist person. What? You see, I am the esteemed Sir Angel, trainer of dragons worldwide, and you are just insignificant little Sir Caraway. Why those names? I'm Angel because I want to be an angel, but no matter how close I get, I can't. And you are Caraway because whenever you have a care, you throw it away. At this, Akira seems to renew her determination to ignore me, because she turns forward again, renewing the scolding of her erstwhile dragon. Freddy, you must redeem yourself! There's rising newcomers on the scene, you know, backwater talents like Rikaf, Liftable, and Hogan have taken their respectful nations by storm. Don't tell me that your age is getting to you. I mean, he's been around for at least 120 years, apparently. That's pretty old by my standards. The end is in sight. Go for the finish, Freddy. Just because she stands up at her seat, only to be stopped by a belt, and waves one arm dramatically forward, the ride begins to slow lower, pulling back in speed. No! But yes, our time on the ride has come to an end, judging by the deceleration. It seems to push Akira into a frenzy. I should have known. If you're what you eat, then Freddy just became a JPDA certified grass-fed gluten-free organic carrots. And no race can be won by a JPDA certified grass-fed gluten-free organic carrot. She still doesn't look at me, even as she unbuckles the seatbelt and jumps out of the vehicle. I barely catch her arm as she leaves. Hey Akira, what's the big deal? You let go of that arm, Cap. She suddenly sounds very, very serious. I let go of her arm. You're avoiding me, aren't you? Avoiding your face is very different from avoiding you, Cap. What's that supposed to mean? It means that it's time to meet up with the others. She bounces away before I can stop her. Great, guess I have to follow along. The rest of the group has convened by the map. Some noticeably more thrilled than others. How was it, Ree? Being in a pod by yourself? Oh, not you too, Miki. Akira, how was it for you? Me? Well, I had fun. I started a pod with this kid who I convinced to check out Grover Mecker. Yeah, I'm sure it was good and all, but why don't we do something more exciting? The clamor of the group is starting to get to me, so I focus on Masato's statement. What do you suggest we try? You pick something, man. Thanks, delegation at its finest. Right. Guess it's time to take another look at the map. Thought we can't. Let's do the, tech sandbox. Let's save right now. And I shall see you on the next one. Bye-bye!